All right, you guys, today we are relearning how to add and subtract fractions, okay? Now, the most important thing for us is the idea of a common denominator, okay? When you have a problem, you're going to have fractions that might have different denominators, and if you have different denominators, you can't add fractions with different denominators, so we have to find a common one. So let's take these two fractions, 1/4 and 2/3, and to find a common denominator, you basically find a number that both of the denominators go into evenly. So in this case, 3 and 4, one number that they both go into evenly is 12. You can just multiply them together if you want to do that. 12, and that happens to be the first number that they both go into evenly. So then, to get the numerators correct, you're going to have to figure out what you multiply the 4 by. We multiplied it by the 3, right? So multiply 4 by 3 to get 12. Whatever you do to the bottom, you're also going to do to the top. So you're going to multiply this by 3 as well. So the numerator on this side is going to be 3/12. Then on the bottom, we multiplied that by 4, so we're going to multiply the top by 4, and it's going to be 8. That is those two fractions, 1/4 and 2/3, with a common denominator. So let's look at an actual addition problem. Let's try 3/4 let's go plus 1/3. Now the first step is to change it to a vertical problem. Okay, this is just going to make it easier on you. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to go 3/4 plus 1/3. Now I'm going to find a common denominator, so I'm just going to put equal signs and then little lines. You should do this on every problem. Okay, equal signs, little lines. Now I'm asking myself, okay, what is the common denominator? So a common denominator here is, again, 12. I multiplied the top by 3, so I'm going to multiply this top by 3, and this is going to be 9. I multiplied this by 4, multiplying this by 4, so this is going to be 4. Now, once I have the common denominators, I just add the numerators. Okay, so we've got 9 plus 4 is going to give me 13. 13/12 is my answer. Now, it's not in simplest form, so I'm going to change that to simplest form, but if you got to 13/12, that is the correct answer. So let's put this in simplest form. I'm going to say 12 goes into 13 once, and you're going to have 1/12 left over. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try 4/5. Let's do a subtraction problem. It's the exact same steps. 4/5 minus 2/3. Okay? First step, again, is I set it up vertically. So I've got 4/5 minus 2/3. I'm going to find a common denominator. In this case, what's my common denominator going to be? Think of it to yourself. You should have thought 15. 15 is my common denominator. Then I look, how did I get 15 from 5? I multiplied the 5 by 3. So I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Multiply by 3. And I'm going to get 12. Multiplied the bottom by 4. So I'm going to not 4. I multiplied it by 5. So I'm going to multiply this top by 5, and it's going to give me 10. Now when I subtract, again, the numerators are the same, so they just stay the way they are. The denominators are the same. I subtract the numerators. 12 minus 10 is going to give me 2/15. Nothing can divide evenly into 2/15, so that is my answer. All right? Let's try one more, and then I want you to try one. So let's go with 5/6 minus, again, 3/4. Okay, so my first step, line it up vertically. 5/6 minus 3/4. Now I've got to find a common denominator. So my common denominator in this case, I always put the equal signs and the lines. My common denominator in this case could be two different things. Actually, it could be a number of different common denominators. But if you notice, 6 times 4 is 24. So I could have 24 as the bottom, but 6 and 4 both also evenly go into 12. So I'm going to make 12 my common denominator. 24 would be all right too. I'm just going to have to simplify at the end. But I'm saying it goes in They both go evenly into 12. So how did I get it from 6? I multiplied by 2. So this is going to be 10, because 5 times 2 is 10. I multiplied this by 3, so I'm going to multiply the top by 3, and I'm going to get 9. Now when I subtract, because it's a subtraction problem, 10 minus 9 is going to give me 1/12. Okay? So just going through the steps again. First thing is to make sure that you line it up vertically, just like this. Second step is always to find the common denominator. We have common denominator of 12. Then you've got to change the numerator by multiplying with the same number. Okay? Now, I want you to try one on your own. So go ahead and try this problem. Let's go with 5, 6 plus 1/2. 5, 6 plus 1/2. Go ahead and pause this recording and try this on your own. All right, again, before I give you the answer, let's check your work. Let's make sure we're doing it correctly. My first step is to line it up vertically. So I'm going to line this up and say 5, 6 plus 1/2. My second step, I always put my equal signs in my lines. My second step is to find a common denominator. The common denominator, in this case, could be 12. You could multiply the 6 and the 2 together. Or you can know that 6 and 2 both actually go into 6. Right? So 6 could be our common denominator. Because 6 times 1 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. So I multiply the top by 1, that gives me 5. I multiply the bottom by 3, that gives me 3. Addition problem, 5 plus 3 is going to give me 8, 6. All right? Now, this is the correct answer. That's your answer right there. It's not in simplest form, so let me put this in simplest form really quick. I'm going to simplify by dividing each by 2. That's going to give me 4/3. And I look at this and I say, okay, well, the numerator is larger than the denominator, so this is actually going to equal 1 and 1/3. Because 3 goes into 4 once, and you're left with 1/3. So if you got 8, 6, that is the right answer. You just need to simplify. Okay? So, to go through this one more time, you take the problem, you set it up vertical, you find a common denominator, change the numerators, add or subtract the numerators, whatever the problem is telling you to do. You'll get your answer, then you simplify if you can. All right? Hopefully that helped. Hopefully you guys will do great on the quiz, and I will see you then.